This might be the biggest leap in VR technology in a while, and now you can even use some of its groundbreaking features. Valve's indexed headset launched mid last year, and there really wasn't much support in terms of games for especially the new controllers, but now anyway, there's games like Boneworks, which I'm actually going to be checking out in this video, so stick around. We're going to look through the headset, its features, and if you should actually go and buy one or not. Now I'm going to start by talking about the headset itself, and then we'll talk about the controllers, stuff like Boneworks, and then we'll talk about the gripes and if you should or shouldn't buy one. Now, starting off with that headset, quite frankly, it's amazing. Not only is it higher resolution per eye compared to the original Vive, but it's also a higher refresh rate too. Now, in terms of that resolution, you're looking at 1440 by 1600 per eye compared to the old Vive's 1080 by 1200. In terms of the refresh rates, you're looking at 120Hz stock with an option to switch it to 144Hz, although right now there's a few bugs with that, and so some software updates should help with making that a better experience, which is actually kind of a feature of this headset. They've included a lot of extra stuff like a slot in the front with a USB port that's effectively useless right now, but is in theory going to be useful for add-in modules later. Now, that higher resolution per eye plus much clearer lenses means that when you put the headset on, you're not immediately seeing pixels. In fact, it's actually pretty hard to see the pixels in this headset or in the displays, and I should also add that stuff like text is actually clear and readable now. It's a much better experience and is just utterly fantastic. When it comes to the refresh rate, that is also a very welcome change. For people who get motion sick with VR, a smoother experience, say 120Hz, is actually potentially going to be helpful for you as there's slightly less juttering between frames, and so you get a more true-to-life experience. Now, of course, that doesn't solve the problem of, say, you're moving in-game while not moving in real life, but it certainly helps. When gaming on the headset, thanks to those improvements, it's just a brilliant experience. Playing games like Beat Saber is, again, just fantastic as you get a very smooth and crisp experience, and also, thanks to that higher refresh rate, it's actually easier to hit blocks more accurately and get those sweet combos more often. In racing games like Project Cars 2, the higher resolution actually makes it a lot more immersive, and when you're sweeping through a bend or you're plowing down a straight, it's actually way better. It's also much more comfortable thanks to its headband design rather than the elasticated straps. No more do you have ski goggle marks when you take the headset off after a long gaming session, which is honestly fantastic. I'm very happy that that's the case. It's still a little bit difficult to wear with glasses on, and I take them off personally, but in theory anyway, it's fully adjustable, so that should be able to work for you. The faceplate is also only held in by magnets now, which makes it super easy to remove and go clean, or especially if you're using this as a business headset in terms of either in offices or also in one of those sort of VR gaming cafes. Being able to switch those out very quickly is a definite plus point. The headset comes with speakers pre-attached, and while it does have a headphone jack recessed under the front faceplate, which actually can be a bit difficult to get to, the speakers are actually pretty good, and so I don't really have a problem leaving them there. What's also great about the speakers is that they don't actually sit on your ears, they sit a couple centimeters away, and while the audio quality is still absolutely brilliant from them, it also means that you are still able to be somewhat aware of your surroundings and hear what's going on around you, which I appreciate is clearly a novel concept for VR, but I'm very happy to see that. So that's the headset. What about the shiny new controllers? Honestly, these are an amazing upgrade, and I should also add, these are backwards compatible with the original Vive and Lighthouses, and the old Vive controllers are forwards compatible with the new headset, so if you want to use the old controllers for certain games, or you want to use the new controllers with the old headset, you can do that, which is quite frankly amazing. Now, these controllers are pretty different to the standard Vive controllers in that they actually strap to your hand and actually strap around your hand, and the resting position is actually letting go. These track your individual finger positions on the controller, so much so that you can, yes, flip people off in-game or flip yourself off in-game if you prefer, and more importantly, you're able to grab things, and it actually even tracks force and pressure you put on the controller, so you can grip things, very tightly or loosely. You can grip them with only your finger and your thumb or any other combination. While Valve's own Half-Life Alyx game isn't out at the time of filming, Brandon from the old Freddy W videos game Boneworks is, and it's mind-blowing. It was the first game that's truly designed around these controllers and the Index headset, and you can really tell. It is a game where you can manipulate your environment to the max in a way that hasn't really been possible in VR games before, all thanks to these controllers and your ability to physically go and pick stuff up. You can navigate the world by, say, climbing a ladder, by grabbing each rung by hand, physically grabbing the controller. You can pick stuff up or force grab stuff if it's slightly too far from you. And when it comes to the guns, you pick them up, you load a magazine into them, you cock them, and then you can hold them in any position you like and fire them away, just like you would if they were a real gun. It ends up just making a lot of sense. You can pick up a sledgehammer and smash through some glass, or obviously, like I said, pick up a gun and load it and start firing, or you can pick up throwing knives and literally throw them while letting go of the controller, which is actually a pretty scary thing to do when you first start, and it ends up just making so much sense being able to interact with the world like normal, basically. And as a mini review of Boneworks while you're here, I have to say it's possibly the best VR game, at least with a story anyway, and if you have an Index or you're planning on picking one up, buy that game. It is hands down an amazing experience. I cannot recommend enough. So that's the headset and the controllers, but what about the gripes? What about the things that you would want to know but maybe might turn you off from buying one? Well, first is the lighthouses, the new Gen 2 lighthouses. Those are the boxes that you mount on either side of your room, and those let the headset and controllers know where they are in 3D space. The way they work is by having a spinning mirror that scatters lasers around the room, and the Gen 1 lighthouses, they made a little sort of low-pitch hum that was reasonably quiet, but if the room you were in was pretty quiet, you could generally hear them. Sadly, the Gen 2 lighthouses make a pretty high-pitched whine now, and it's loud enough to annoy me no matter if the room is quiet or not. Now, happily, you can go into the power management settings of SteamVR and have them turn off fully when SteamVR is exited, which is what I do, but it does mean that when you want to start playing, with the Index headset again, it takes about 30 seconds for those lighthouses to turn back on and spin back up. And the other gripe I have has to be with its price. It's nearly £1,000 for this full kit, and while you can, like I said, use, say, the old headset with the new controllers and new lighthouses, or the new headset with the old lighthouses and old controllers, and any combination of the sets, it's still an incredibly expensive endeavor to go and pick one of these up, and it's certainly something that I can't easily recommend to everybody. With that said, you might also need to upgrade your PC too, as thanks to the higher resolution and refresh rates, I had to upgrade to a 1080 Ti to get a playable experience, and I actually think that if you're going to spend this much money, you should probably look at a 2080 Ti for sort of the best experience you can get right now, but that's possibly an optional upgrade, but still makes it very expensive. But if you can afford its very, very high price tag, man, what an experience you're buying. This is something that I'm very happy to have. It's a very immersive and enjoyable experience, and especially with games like Boneworks and the new controllers, it's just a game-changing experience that I can't recommend enough, assuming you can afford it. With that said, I did pay my own money for this, but I bought it from a friend sort of second-hand, and so I didn't pay full price, so take that as you will. But with all of that said, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think of the Index? What do you think of games like Boneworks? Do you already have a VR headset like the Vive or an Oculus headset? Anything and all, do let me know in those comments down below. And if you want to see more videos like this one every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, mostly focusing on gaming and PC hardware, then do hit that subscribe button with the bell notification icon. If you want to check out the index, I'll leave a link to the Steam store down below, which in theory anyway should let you see pricing whenever you watch this, but I'll leave that up to you. Otherwise, you can also check out the rest of the links in the description if you want to support this channel and help me make these videos. There's a load of stuff down there from Amazon and Overclock affiliate links that don't cost you anything to use, but massively help me out when you use them, or merch for hoodies or t-shirts like this one, or a load of other cool designs, and stuff like Streamlabs OBS if you want to start streaming too. Otherwise, you can check out more videos over there, and that is pretty much it. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments down below, and we will see you all in the next video.